Yep, Charlamagne the God.
Andrew Schultz.
We are the Brilliant Idiots, and this week's episode of the Brilliant Idiots is brought to you by the new Spotify original podcast, Mogul, The Life and Death of Chris Lighty, produced by Gimlet and the Loudspeakers Network. Mogul details one of the most illustrious careers in hip-hop and Chris Lighty's rise to the pinnacle of musical success before an unfortunate and untimely end. Okay, this story is broader than just music. It's the story of the American dream. Follow and listen to Mogul, The Life and Death of Chris Lighty, every week on Spotify. Now, I don't see y'all vocals. Now, I don't know if y'all know or not, but we're back where it all started. We're in the Engine Room Studios right now, doing the Brilliant Idiots podcast.
Oh, that's fine. No, leave it. You keep it
I
how
like
you
your
do.
hair, bro. It's real happy days.
That's what's up, yeah.
Real
Happy
bonds.
days. That shit looks like a Lego.
Rico Suave, baby. It was what's the Indian engineer who was here yesterday? Shailene. Yeah. I wanted to ask him if he saw Master of None Season 2, but I was like, that's racist as fuck. So I didn't want to. That was really a genuine question.
Yeah, you can't be genuine anymore.
You can't even be fucking genuine no more. Somebody will just take the shit out of goddamn context.
It's true, but you did want to ask it because he was Indian looking. But that's their only shit. If like you got one shit, I should be able to ask you. Like it's wrong. Say again. What about her? Nah, not really.
I didn't want to do to him the way I feel white people do to me about Blackish and Empire.
Yeah, because there's mad black shows, so it's weird. You got fucking Lester Holt and shit on news. There's tons of black people. Don Lemon. So if they just go right to you, did you see Power? It seems offensive, but
maybe it's not though, because that's very
specific.
Specific, you know what I mean? If you're saying Power, I'm like, okay, yo, you must really be in tune with your fucking
but would it be fucked up if they came to you and be like, so what do you think of the new mango flavored quarter water?
Exactly. It was watermelon flavored. It'd be like, what the fuck you mean?
If it was watermelon, it'd be a little crazy.
By the way, the reason I want to ask somebody like the Indian engineer, what's his name again? I forgot. The guy. Yeah, Aziz. The reason I wanted to ask Aziz about Master of None Season 2 is because I want to know what he thinks of the depiction of Indians in this show. Is it accurate? Because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't live that life. So
maybe that's the question. Maybe it's like, hey man, I don't know if you've seen Master of None Season 2, but there's an interesting depiction of Indian Americans on there, and I want to get your take on it. And then he's going to look at you and be like, dog, I'm Mexican. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
You got to do all of this fucking warning. Look, I'm not trying to offend you at all. I'm really asking you this goddamn question, okay? Now, we have a special guest in the building.
Yeah.
A young man who I've watched grow over the past years. You know what I'm saying? He's very, very, he's new. He's different in the culture because I've never seen a personality like his in the culture as far as execution. Okay. You know, the way he uses YouTube and the digital space is new. Yeah. But my man DJ Akademiks is here.
Okay.
Yep. You know, Akademiks, I want you to feel comfortable.
I'm always comfortable.
Enough to talk. You know, I know you don't get to talk on Everyday Struggle. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Hey, yo, let me get my words in, man.
Hey, I'm here to let you have your voice, okay?
We're going to listen. We're going to listen. We're going to not tell you to fuck off.
Yeah, we're not here to sun you or try to sun you.
No sunning.
Or tell you what you don't know.
You're not a fuck boy here, okay?
Yeah, you're not a fuck boy here.
You're a great, proud Jamaican.
No dick face.
Okay? You have pride. You have power. You're a badass mother that don't take no shit from nobody.
Hey, Drake got a better accent than you, man.
Bro, that's the cool runnings Jamaican accent, bro. I only know cool runnings.
Yo, Drake and Cali got a better accent than you, man.
Yeah, but Drake is Jamaican.
Accent, though.
Cali got a good Jamaican accent?
Yeah, you gotta learn from him.
You do realize Khaled is a mix of two people?
Who?
Khaled has co-opted Fat Joe and Rick Ross's personality.
Ooh.
Yes, but for whatever reason, Khaled just did them better than them. But if you're ever around Fat Joe and you're ever around Rick Ross, even if you just follow Rick Ross on Snapchat, that's all Khaled. So, I mean, that's all. Khaled gets that from them.
Well, you might be onto something because when you think about how delusional like Rick Ross seemed to be, Khaled kind of has that, which by the way, it propels success. Mm-hmm. But like he talks things into existence. Like, yo, this is what's going on. This is the best. The vocals come like it sounds kind of like.
At what
Ross.
point are we going to stop thinking those people are delusional and we're delusional for not thinking like that?
Exactly.
If that shit works, and we're not doing it, aren't we the delusional ones?
Absolutely. Listen,
aren't we the stupid ones? Like,
what's the Steve Jobs quote?
Wear the same shirt every day.
What is it? I don't listen. I'm gonna.
I like how you said like this one Steve Jobs quote.
Yo, get yourself a turtleneck and grind.
Exactly.
Right?
Hold on, you know the one I'm talking about though. Hold on.
Fuck Windows is all about the Mac.
Fuck Windows is all about the Mac.
Windows is all about the Mac.
In the world of the blind, the what was the little thing you said? A man with one eye is king.
In the land of the blind, man with one eye is king.
Oh, no, yeah. The ones who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do.
Respect.
That's it.
That's true.
That's the reason why I knew Ross would succeed, but Khaled got that same type of thing, except his shit is on another level.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because Khaled doesn't even have a skill. Like Ross could
Whoa,
rap.
He's a DJ.
Wait.
He's a DJ. Khaled was.
What is Khaled's?
No.
He's a DJ and a radio personality. You know he is.
Outside of that, we're not going to sit here and act like Khaled doesn't have a skill of crafting records. Like when
Very true.
He crafts records that
Very true.
know that if those people were just in the studio by themselves, it would sound like shit.
Okay, just real quick.
So I don't know, is that A&R or what is that?
Let me clarify.
Or just producing, quote unquote.
And maybe you don't know this about me. I don't know anything about music. Okay, so I don't know if you know this about me. Okay, that being said, from me having conversations with folks, my understanding was that he doesn't play instruments. He doesn't produce.
Most of these niggas don't.
But he doesn't produce the song. But he got an ear. So like Diddy, for example. Yeah. Diddy had an ear. Was that a good comparison?
Yeah, Harlem Shake. What more you need to do?
Diddy had an ear.
You know what I mean? Just get his shit jiggy and just get them together.
Khaled knows the right beats to pick. He knows the right songs to sample to get producers to craft the right beats. He knows the right artists to put on records.
So he is Steve Jobs. He's the conductor.
Working with Nas. I'm hella excited for that because that's a knock against Nas. Like, yo, he don't be
Nas
picking the right stuff.
Trash,
I've never agreed.
Do you
with
agree with that?
Oh my!
I've never agreed with that.
The worst.
You know why? Because we love Nas records.
No, Nas picks beats like Pamela Anderson picks husbands.
What, big dicks?
No, it's just awful. It's just an awful
I'm trying
man
to think of
selection.
what Nas record has a horrible beat. Like, I mean, I think about Hate Me Now. I think about the Illmatic album. Illmatic got some crazy, The World Is Mine, The World Is Yours, New York State of Mind. Like, what whack beats did Nas have?
But that was before.
I think people always look at it like, well, Nas is such a great lyricist and he's so great on records, even vocally. What about if we got him with some of the best beats in the culture? Like, I think people think he's been overperforming on beats that they're good. We're not saying they're completely whack, but there's always the hottest beat out that he's not on.
Or you could just say those beats were great and look how popular those songs were.
I want the record to show if Akademiks was having this conversation with Joe Budden would have said, "Shut the fuck up!
Yeah.
You do not listen to Nas. You were not around for Illmatic, or It Was Written, or I Am. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't know shit about Nas.
Stop dick riding beats.
Stop dick riding beats.
Those are his two knocks. Is stop dick riding. If you disagree with me, is stop dick riding. And then what's the other one? Fuck, he has some other shit that I was watching. I watched a whole episode of that shit. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I didn't know that there was episodes. I thought it was just the 2-minute clips.
Oh,
I didn't know it was a whole show. This is an hour-long show that everybody doesn't know.
2-minute clips?
I thought it was a bunch of 2-minute clips.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, it's a whole.
I watch the moments. I don't watch.
Yeah.
Well, the moments is what get people talking on social media.
It's
when you
great.
tune in, you actually get the dialogue and the banter.
Yeah.
Right? That's when you get the explanation to the moment that you're probably seeing. So, like,
context.
And that's my thing. My thing's about the context because a lot of times, you know what I mean, you'll see like the shouting or the screaming or the passionate type of theatrics, and then you're like, all right, but damn, that's look lit, but what the fuck was that about?
Yeah.
Right? So you got to watch the show to actually just kind
The
of.
the other knock Joe Budden has is he's not putting out enough music.
Joe Budden's not?
No. That's what he doesn't. If he doesn't like an artist, or he does like an artist, but he still wants to shit on him, it's always, well, where's the music?
But that's dumb logic because I believe in quantity over quality. I mean, quality over quantity. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck how much music you're putting out. You're only judged by your last project.
Well, I think with that though, right? You see when you hear certain artists, and there are certain artists that when you talk about them, you seem like we don't talk about the music. I think he is from a school, and again, I understand, like, now we're tuned into an artist's entire life.
Yeah.
So, who you dating? I mean, what the fuck you got arrested for?
Yeah.
Shit, what you bought at the fucking gas station, convenience store? Like, we tune into everything. So, when he sees stuff like that, he probably like, yo, why are we talking about this opposed to the music? He's from a different era, though.
You're right. I'm from the same era Budden is from, but I feel like Budden doesn't understand we created that. And what I mean by when we created that, we are the people who wanted to see people live their raps. You know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't just rap about it. We had to see you doing it.
Yep.
Like, you had to really be courtside at the games. If you said you was courtside at the games, you really had to be busting your gun. If you said you was busting your gun, you really had to be fucking the baddest chick.
That's some of the dumbest shit now. Like, that's some of the dumbest shit, yo.
Before Instagram, before social media, we didn't have to see you doing those things. We could assume. But now, since there is Instagram, it's like, well, where's the pictures of the money?
Word up.
Say you got all this money, show us the pictures. We need you to prove that shit.
Do you know how many rappers were participating in the Bow Wow challenge before Bow Wow? Like, everybody getting on Bow Wow for fronting. 90% of you motherfuckers fronted all through the 90s, all through the 2000s. If you weren't fronting about being a thug, you were fronting about being rich.
I remember watching documentaries about rap like in the 80s when it just started. People would it was fake it till you make it. Niggas rapping about having color TVs. They ain't had shit. You know what I mean? Niggas still watching black and white.
Color TV.
Yeah,
man,
like,
color
TV was the new LCD flat screen on the wall. Like, yo, you could tell some. So when I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, so faking it has always been a hip hop culture. Or even if you do have it, which that's the thing that puzzles me about Bow Wow.
Yeah.
If you got it.
He don't got it.
No. He ain't broke.
Bow Wow's not broke, but he ain't flying private.
But that's what I'm saying, right?
It ain't hard to fly private. They got like an Uber private jet.
Yeah, they do. But you know who does that shit?
Yo, I
was talking to
Google
my boy who did.
Yo, you
Duval
could get a
does
seat.
It, but so does Tom Brady. Like, Tom Brady don't even have a private plane. He does it. It's called NestJet, I think.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, NestJet. And that shit is expensive, yo. It's a different, like, in order to fly private, like, in order to have your own plane, apparently, you're like hundreds of millions of dollars just to have that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Or billionaire and the corporation pays for it. Like, it's a different level.
Ludacris got his own jet.
I don't know if he do.
Nah, he got his own. He has his own.
Ludacris don't even have his own
timeshare with a jet, or does he own the jet?
No, I don't know.
That's the thing. Exactly. It's a timeshare shit. It's
because Bow Wow challenge.
Wayne, right? Like, Wayne, the jet company came back around with Wayne, like, yo, you used to be flying us all the time. You ain't pay us even now. Like, Wayne owe bills and shit like that. Like,
the bigger issue I see with the Bow Wow situation is something I feel like this culture has a problem with. When is enough enough? And what I mean by that is, Bow Wow, you're flying to New York City to promote a TV show that you not only star in, you're the executive producer of.
You won.
I'm sure the network got you in first class. Like, is that not balling?
No.
That's not balling enough. Like, I have to jump out the window and put a picture of a fake private jet and an old Mercedes Benz and a Sprinter.
Yeah.
It's not balling enough that you're flying first class to promote a TV show that you're executive producer of and you're only 30?
Bro, Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce.
Wow.
Think about that.
And didn't even Instagram it.
It didn't even, bro, that was the worst Bow Wow challenge ever.
Yo, put it like this. Yo, we all hope we never experience this, but you got to imagine, when you got it, you got it. So you're living one lifestyle then.
Yeah.
But when you got to downgrade, now you ain't flying private, you just first class.
Yeah.
Maybe you in coach.
I told Bow Wow.
How do you adjust? And especially when people are watching you and they're so invested in your life, they know when you not getting the latest shit. Like, yo, is that an iPhone? What the fuck? Is that not the latest shit?
Bow Wow
you falling off, so you got to. Should you keep the image, or should you just be honest and be like, yo, I'm flying fucking Delta.
But this is the thing about Bow Wow's
is
30.
Interesting when people listen to him.
You never get a chance to hear him.
No, it's very interesting. You're
listen,
interesting. Listen, bro.
And I know it's got to be frustrating for him because, I said Bow Wow. Akademiks.
Did you just Bow Wow challenge Akademiks, bro? Come on now.
Akademiks.
This is our guest.
His platform is very Tommy Laurenish. That's when he's at his best.
Who?
Akademiks. When he's just him.
Yeah.
And he's talking, and he's being a cultural critic, and he's critiquing the culture. Yeah. So it's got to be like kind of frustrating to be going back and forth with somebody. Well, because you're used to getting your thoughts out completely.
No, that's true. Like I've never been like it's a huge adjustment factor for me. I've never been in a situation where like usually I say my opinion, and even times I do streams and I'll take calls from like people. It's kind of like digital radio almost.
Sure.
But I've never been in a situation where it's two almost people ahead button, and at times you might be even robbed of your own opinion, or robbed of the time to say your opinion.
Sure.
So I'm dealing with that, but also it's also checking my ego to the door. Like I usually say what I want for the amount of time I want. Now I'm working with. I'm so new to all this shit. Like I'm dealing with production people. They got time that they got to work with.
Yeah.
Of course, like we got to get our stuff out, and again, it's all new to me, so I'm adjusting to it. But
I think, and this is something we've been doing for a while, Charlamagne and myself, not just podcasts, but in terms of just entertainment with reaction. Yeah. And it's different than speaking by yourself because you're not even expecting a reaction. So, and it's something I learned from working with you, to be honest with you, is I'm stand-up, so I'm used to the most reaction. Right? I say a joke, I'm waiting for laughs. Yeah. And then I thought I brought that initially to this show. Yeah. But when you're just talking to another human, it's not you're saying jokes at them. You're just having a conversation. And then sometimes organically something funny comes up.
Yeah.
And I had to make that shift here.
Okay.
I went from I'm delivering bits to no. We're just having a conversation. And then relying on your natural funny to have some of these funny things come out. I think that's the difference that I've noticed. For you, it must be so difficult, and people have to understand they got to give you a little bit of time to mature in this world. Is you're going from a place where you get to say your jokes, you get to say your hot takes because there's an expectation for your humor, to a place where the expectation is not your humor, it's your hot take. If humor comes, that's icing on the cake, that's something you'll learn and put together.
Summary of exactly like, and again, I'm learning to deal with this on a day-by-day basis. Some days I'm like, man, I'm a little frustrated because I didn't get everything I wanted to say out. And then other days I'm like, yo, I really like that because I felt like I was in the pocket of expressing myself. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm used to the platform which I like created and built where like I basically was able to say whatever I wanted for as long as I wanted. And again, it just went out there without even retort or time constraints or something like that. So yeah. That's a new thing that I'm adjusting to.
Well, you know, me and Akademiks, we talk often. We have talked often for years. I'd offer my advice, you know, on certain situations. I would have told you not to do it.
Really?
I'm going to tell you why I would have told you not to do it.
Wait, hold on. By the way, also, a lot of people would hit me and they were like, yo, man, I thought you said Charlamagne was your man. He hating on you. Like, I got a lot of people hit me like that. And I was like, yo... And I even did.
They said that because in the last episode we said that Joe Budden. It wasn't hate. I said that Everyday Struggle is going to last 6 months.
I said 2.
And the reason, and it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with self-destructive Joe Budden.
Yeah,
like that's just it. Joe Budden is the guy who, when things get good, he fucking puts gas all over the place, lights a cigarette, and blows the joint.
Now we said that with the context of this is great content. I hope that we're proved wrong. At least I did. I really enjoy watching the clips, and then I watched an actual whole fucking episode, and I enjoyed it, and we'll get into why I enjoyed the dynamic later, but I want you to say your point about the thing.
Oh, no, I was just saying that, you know, I would have told you not to do it, and I'm going to tell you why. I feel like Complex kind of co-opted you and your audience. Like, you're probably competition to them. Because I look at your numbers on your YouTube pages. I didn't even realize you had like 4 pages the other day. You got like no less than 300,000 subscribers on each one. You put out videos. You probably average about 150, maybe 200,000 views per video. And I feel like they bought Akademiks in because they realized this guy is competition to what we're doing. Now, I wouldn't mind them helping you to elevate your platform, but I just don't understand the dynamic between you and Joe. I almost feel like Joe could do his own thing and Akademiks could do his own thing. And I just don't see, the way it's going right now, I just don't see it lasting any more than 6 months because somebody going to get fed up. Either Joe going to get fed up because he tired of motherfuckers calling him industry and saying he's not an underground artist no more. Or you going to be like, why the fuck am I continuously coming here to do this shit when I got my own platform?
That's interesting. I didn't know.
And I want to be wrong. I'm just telling you what you asked me what I think is what I think.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. I didn't know how much influence I guess you had now. I didn't know how you had all the YouTube pages. I always kind of went for you on Twitter for hip hop news, like breaking hip hop news, almost like TMZ. I called you the Hood TMZ. You know, the second some shit happens. Yeah. So, what I'll say about the dynamic of the show, which I found very interesting, is Joe. And I was watching this whole episode. Joe is incredibly interesting. And
always has been.
Always has been.
Whether it's rap. Joe used to do radio. Like, people don't remember. Joe used to do morning radio. No, he used to do morning radio. I was a child
in like middle school or something like that, listening to morning radio.
Yo, Joe was on hot. Joe is excellent. Dude, I'm watching this, and I'm like, he's excellent. And he's I find
like
him
a year though.
Maybe it was a year, but again, you know, a year, and then it fell apart, right? So, but it's like
fuck out of Dodge.
But there's probably some deep-rooted insecurity or fear of success, maybe fear of failure. Maybe you run away before you can fail. You make it explode before you can because you don't deep down think you deserve it. Who knows what the fucking thing was? But I'm watching. I'm like, this guy is a very good rapper in terms of bars. No one can take away his bars, but his skill at being interesting, I think, is greater than his skill at rap. I'm very intrigued by what's going on.
Very amazing rapper.
Very
amazing rapper.
But he's very interesting. I'm watching very interesting, good takes. My concern with the dynamic is two people need to be listened to each other in order for them to feel comfortable speaking and validated speaking. And I've noticed it in times with us when I'm not listening well. It creates a kind of like a a disruption between us, and maybe when Charlamagne is a listener, a disruption. When we're fucking killing it, it's when both of us are cued at, what do you have to say? Oh, that's a good at, boom, boom, boom. And I wish that there was more of that with you so that you would feel more, I think that you would talk with more confidence in your points. And
my greatest interview skill is the fact that I listen
yeah.
to the artist.
I think Joe needs to give you more.
Joe needs to listen more.
Well, truth be told, I'll just hit the first point. When people were saying, yo, Charlamagne's hating, I'm like, yo, it sounded crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because I was even asking random people, like,
Did you listen
even
to
like
it?
my audience. No, I'm like, yo, I'm like, do y'all hear yourself? So I had to give him the history. I'm like, Charlamagne is someone who gave me advice at a time that he didn't need to give me advice. You know what I mean? He's someone who looked out. And he's always looked out, and he's always been the person that if I ever need advice or stuff has happened that don't even involve me, and he's called me to just kind of give me the lesson in that. Be like, yo, see what I was talking about? This is a proof, right? So he's always been a good dude with me. You get me? So like when I heard that, I was like, obviously I could tell there's something I do believe in. We could get on to this. I think there's something with you and Joe though. I don't know what it is.
Historically.
There's something with you. There's something with you and
I'll
Joe.
tell you exactly what it is.
Wait.
Dominican women.
What?
They're fighting over the Dominican women, okay? Charlamagne wants all the Dominican women to himself, and so does Joe.
I'm a
and it's a
married
big
man.
fucking problem.
No.
Game.
Yo.
All right?
There's something, because I heard the comments or whatever, and I was like, I know his humor, and I said, and I told people, I'm like, yo, we've had personal conversations, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, his humor didn't offend me because I know his humor.
Yeah.
I said, if anything, I was like, this is him foreseeing something with Joe or taking a jab at Joe. Now, again,
Wasn't a jab. Definitely wasn't a jab.
What was it? What would you describe it as?
And honestly, it was like, I'm
a hook.
It's just like anything.
Hooker
No.
uppercut.
It's
club punch.
This is the thing, right? Whenever you're a cultural critic,
Yeah.
which I feel like I am, I feel like Akademiks is, we critique the culture.
Yeah.
But whenever we critique something that people know we actually fuck with, or people that we may be affiliated with in some way, it's almost like, oh, he's hating. Like, no, I'm critiquing the culture. This is the same thing I would tell Akademiks. Same thing I would tell Joe. I talked to Joe last week on the phone.
Right.
Like this is the same kind of conversations I've had. And guess what? I'm sure that they have critique about the Breakfast Club or the podcast.
Sure.
And that's fine. I'm cool with it all. Like, just because
People make it a bigger deal because there's a relationship.
Absolutely.
If you don't know an artist, it's like, oh, this is a fair critique. The second that you and that artist had a conversation once that went bad, immediately everything you say is discredited because you're bitter or something.
Everyday struggle is taking over the Breakfast Club. It's two different lanes.
Completely.
We do terrestrial radio. Y'all do online webisodes.
And it's very hip-hop specific.
Very hip-hop specific. They're not going to
talk about
put Ryan
stories.
Holiday.
Exactly.
Allison Williams isn't going to, Lena Dunham's not going to Everyday Struggle.
Sure.
So it's cool. And like I told somebody last week, we need all of these different spaces in hip-hop.
I agree.
Like, we don't need one outlet. Nobody needs to have a monopoly on
Shit
this
is
shit.
getting specific, especially with the internet. You want a hip-hop-centric first take, which is what this show is. A brilliant idea. Because the audience has a desire for it.
Yeah, and also speaking to like the chemistry, I agree with you. In the beginning, like the first week or two, like I didn't feel like we were almost listening and responding. And my whole thing coming from, again, I've never really done
never had to
huge
listen.
production. Well, not even that, but I've never done like this huge production type like show or whatever. I always care about the content, right?
Yeah.
So like I would watch the content and I'm like, yeah, people might like me, people like Joe, people might like Complex as a company, but I'm like, I don't believe that the content is where I would like it to be, right? So I really, and I talked to production, me and Joe, like my thing was trying to get the content to a place where, because I said, listen, beyond the screaming and 2-minute clips that you guys say you see, 9 months later, people are going to have to watch the episodes because those ain't going to last forever. It's like Love and Hip Hop. How many times are you going to see a chick get slapped?
Absolutely.
How many times? Like at some point, you get desensitized. You're not even clicking. So you got to get people invested, and that's how I've done it. Like I built my platform over 5 years, so I'm like, we got to get the conversation right, and we have to get it to a place where we listen and respond to each other, and that when people watch the actual show, they're like, "Yo, you know what? This is a great discussion, great debate. I agree with him on here. I agree with him on here," and they come away with their own points, and that'll continue the narrative and the discussion of the show. So I've been working on that since the first week, and I'll give credit to production.
How long y'all been out? A month?
Yeah.
Okay.
I give credit to production. Even Joe. I've always said with Joe's self-adjusts. Like, even some things I'll be like, yo, nah, I think I got to talk to him about it. Like, he kind of already knows. Like, so he adjusts himself. But even with, like, everyone else, like, I talk to him. I'm like, yo, I think this is what we need to do. And they react positively. It's not like they're like, because at first I was thrown off. I was like, I don't know what we doing here, but I feel like this is almost, and I've said it, like, publicly. I say, yo, this might be like Love and Hip Hop on some... This might be like Love and Hip Hop we're just on a debate set, right? Because we're not having conversations. We're having like these moments of flare-ups.
And you never want that. You don't want to become a caricature of yourself. And, and a lot of times when you're reading these social media comments and you're reading what people are saying on YouTube, you're like, oh shit, let me give them more of that. One thing you said just now that was very interesting. You said you've built this up over 5 years. Yeah. What I hate about hip hop fans are so fucking fickle. Yeah. Like they don't. Nobody has cachet when it comes to hip-hop fans. Yeah. Like, and what I mean by that is Breakfast Club could be around for 7 years. A show like Everyday Struggle could come, have 2 interviews that people watch, and everybody like, oh my Breakfast God, y'all taking over? Like, that's not the way none of this shit works. And it shows how fickle hip-hop fans are. You have to be consistent over 7 years. The reason people trust you, and Complex came to you at this point to say, you know what, Akademiks, we think that you're an authority in the culture now, is because of what you built up over the past 5 years. So I don't want anybody to ever feel like, you know, brief moments are what you should base a whole situation on. Sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because what's going to end up happening is, and what you're saying is very important, when you have these, like you say 90 days from now, you want to just have content out there.
I want content. 9 months. I'm looking long term.
You know why? Because every day, you're not going to have a Lil Yachty interview every day. Right. You're not going to have a Wale interview every day.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, you and Joe have to be the most 2 entertaining people that people come to watch every fucking day.
Yeah. I agree.
That's what you got to put your foundation on. So you can't do that becoming a character to yourself. You just won't. True. It'll burn out.
Yeah.
Like I heard Joe today say, fuck L.A. Reid.
Oh, that's not even close. You gotta watch the whole interview.
What do you say?
All he does is call him a sexual predator the entire interview.
See, that's the stupid. And you can't do that, Joe. Because Joe, you would hate that. If I called you a woman beater a whole interview, you'd be upset.
Bro, I'm gonna just say,
sexual predator.
Truth be told,
the whole interview, I watched the whole interview last night. I wanted to be prepared for you coming on. Yeah. And it was an interesting interview, but the whole interview, he's calling L.A. Reid a sexual predator. And then you were like, well, how old are the girls coming in? And he's like 18. And it's like, first of all, 18 up is legal. I don't care how old you are. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing.
It's grass on the infield.
Yeah. Listen, again, with building rapport, right? And I guess, like, I'm not too sure if you guys were like friends before you guys did a podcast.
Yeah, we knew each other.
Okay, so that's different, right? So I met Joe with Complex. Yeah. Right? So, like, I'm learning Joe. Like, you know what I mean? Of course, we've kicked it outside of even the work structure because you got to build rapport because it's all going to translate. If you guys really don't know each other, fuck with each other, it's going to translate on camera. So, like, we've been trying to build that rapport. But, like...
You going to the pool party?
Well, if Complex cut the check, I'll probably be there just showing up. But,
really?
Yeah, I mean...
they got to pay you to go to Joe's pool party?
Well, supposedly they might be.
Oh, they want to do the show from the pool party.
They might be doing something like.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So if they're in there, now if it's just Joe, I'll go support Joe. But if Complex gets,
I wouldn't go into that environment because you got to think you're gonna be with Rory, Mal, Official Ice, all these people that want to probably be in your spot or jump you.
Oh, they hate you.
I've met one of them before. I met Rory. He's a white guy. Right?
They're not hard to tell apart.
I fuck with Rory, man. I like Rory. Yeah.
He seems cool.
Rory's cool, man.
Yo.
I don't know, man.
I like Rory. Why? What's up?
Truth be told,
like passive aggressiveness toward Akademiks from Rory.
Really?
Yeah.
On what? What happened?
Just you don't listen to the pod. You don't listen to the Joe Budden podcast.
Yeah, that was a little wild.
You don't listen to that.
They had the best name for a podcast and they got rid of it. I'll name this podcast later. It was brilliant.
I listened to the podcast the week off when we debut, but I don't like. That's never been in my listening.
I don't think they respect you. I've talked to guys like B. Dot from Rap Radar and Epic Records, and I don't think they respect you. They don't feel like you're an authority on the culture. They're like, what have you done to be able to have an opinion? Which is stupid.
Respect is earned, dog. Don't worry about that shit right now.
I mean, truth be told, I mean, I don't give a fuck about what they
That's think. The attitude.
Listen. If they built up the audience and if the audience had respected their opinion like they respected mine, they'd be in the same position. So,
you hear that, Rory?
No, I ain't taking no shots. I ain't taking no shots. I ain't taking no shots. But when I
take shots, man, that's the other thing. You gotta sit down in your shit.
No.
You gotta watch how Trump does it.
Are you the real Dundada?
Yo,
the baddest Jamaican on the internet.
Real talk.
Now, when I look at,
are you a coke?
Come on, you be
when I
like
look
Joe
at,
Budden now. Let him
when I look like,
are
y'all trying to Joe me in his face? Hey yo, no, but on some real, like when I look at just the media landscape, I've never competed with any radio personality or internet personality. I've just done my own thing. So like now I got my own platform. I don't think about anything they say because. Other than like y'all asking me, I've never had like an opinion on them. If they're all great, Like, if I always say the fans will do the ultimate talking. If you're talented, if you're knowledgeable, they decide. I can't listen. If you want me to show you I brought, I ain't gonna be doing that. If the fans have decided, you got to get it up with the fans.
That's a fact.
And also, I might not be the authority on your hip hop because a lot of people are dated, and that's the reason why I'm here, right? A lot of my supporters, they fuck with me for the new wave that a lot of people, like Joe, they discredit. They don't fuck with. Those are fuck boys. But
I told you that's your strength.
There needs to be a voice that represents those people.
I agree.
Again, if anybody has, that's why I don't like. I don't even hear those type of conversations because number one, I don't put myself. It's funny, and I was telling like even the people at Complex, I'm like, they be mentioning all these like. Industry people, I'm like, I literally know like 5 people.
You don't have to.
And I'm like, yo, I'm like, Charlamagne was the first, I guess, are you industry? The first industry person I know.
Yeah.
I'm like Joe is like second or third or fourth.
Yeah.
And I know like one more, that's it. Like, I don't care to know. I don't want to be around y'all circles. I don't need to be cool with y'all. I have my audience and I've always remained loyal to my audience. I only cater to my audience.
You're the
Anything
little
else,
Yachty of the industry.
Yeah, I'll be the outcast. I don't want to be the poster child of whack niggas though. Okay, but
you are the Rory.
the
Rory. Rory feels that way.
What do you mean?
He feels like Akademiks the poster child for like he said he was tweeting about it. He was
What'd
like he was basically trying to say like guys like he didn't say his name, but he was like Akademiks rep for the guys who don't leave the house, who stayed in the basement.
I didn't know Rory's all salty like this.
Hey,
a little bit.
I don't like this, Rory.
You think it's salt?
I think it's a little salt,
salt?
man. Yeah.
No. Well, to
all
that
I see is Rory posting Throwback Thursdays.
No,
when I used to be a jogger or
How
something.
do we know Rory's not Dominican?
Oh, like Drewski?
Yeah. How do we know Rory's
These
not
light-skinned
Rory not
Dominicans coming
Spanish?
out here.
Yo, to that point though, like we had Wale up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess maybe I'm not like again. Maybe I'm just new hip hop guy or whatever. But like Wale was up there and he said, yo, let me tell you something, son. And back in high school, I was the guy who was the running back. I got all the bitches. I did this. And the whole time he was telling me, he was like, yo, you was a loser. And I was like, that's not no diss no more. Like that's the new people who are popping, none of them were cool.
Being a
you
nerd
can't
cool.
tell
Like,
me Uzi was
I'm with
cool.
you.
Was
I'm with
Uzi the cool nigga in college? Was Yachty? Yachty said he lost his virginity last year. Salute to my nigga Yachty. That's my guy.
Yeah.
But yo, again, you don't have to be like the best thing I love about where hip hop is going.
Yeah.
And that's why I like to stay my lane.
Yeah.
Is that you don't have to pretend to be anything
a
you're
street
not.
nigga,
Yeah, like yo,
D-boy.
I'm none of that.
High school should not be the coolest part of your life. And if it is, you fell the fuck off.
And you,
here's
the funny part about it: the people who were cool in high school, they fell off. No, I don't know anybody cool in high school who's popping now.
Sure.
Not one.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a loser in high school like you. You know what I mean?
Were you the running back?
This is a good question.
Were you the running
the basketball team? You know what I'm saying?
This is a good question. What kind of guy were you in high school, Akademiks?
Truthfully, that's why my name is Akademiks. I've always been really into my studies. Like I really did not do much social shit.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? I wasn't like I played soccer.
Get some pussy?
Huh?
When did you first get some pussy?
Early. But I'm Jamaican. I was born in Jamaica. So when